Comments? Questions? Yes, ma'am.
Started crying, first off, so thank you. We see this every day. I know everybody sees it every day. And so the fact that y'all are dreaming so big, to think about from just the pure educational side, and then because of that, because IBC is so amazing, there, you know, how it filters through, yeah, it would change everything. It would change community. I know that's not a question, I'm sorry.
No, I appreciate the comment.
I told Brandy sitting here at first I couldn't, I said I can't breathe. I was gonna say, it's the most exciting thing I've heard related to IBC since I've been introduced to IBC. I think it's the most exciting thing I've heard, and I don't know when. Because of what can change lives and marriages and families, and the hopelessness, and the power that's behind it. I mean, it's so encouraging.
Thank you for that. Yes, ma'am.
I just, when you were talking about mission bread, and I'm just gonna be kind of transparent, like when I came into business, I came from a place where I just had got out of a homeless situation. So even as you're talking about building the families, for those type of agents, when I think about the mission bread, there's like a poverty, lack, and fear mindset about that.
That's true.
There's even like, I see like a holistic training even to help the agents so that they can really understand the clear vision. Because if you don't have that drive and shift and saying, I need to help people understand money and literacy because I get it, like how people reported it to somebody else. So that's just kind of
100%.
saying that, like, when I'm thinking the shift factor first happened in the advisor so that you can pour out what you now understand yourself as well.
It's good. It's good, Laura.
Scott,
Yes, sir.
first of all, I appreciate your vision. We haven't talked about this in
We have not.
detail, so I'm amazed. But Nelson in part says that infinite banking is an exercise in imagination.
That's right.
And we've all experienced this. If you don't have the self-image to see and believe and visualize that you can be at a higher level, you're going to hit a ceiling you can't break through. You have to visualize and see a bigger version of what you can do, and then you grow within that.
Yes.
So to do what you're visualizing for us here, it's up to us to allow ourselves to see a bigger vision of what's possible in our own lives, and then pass it on.
It's good. Thank you, Chris. Anybody else? Comments, questions? Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to ask the hard questions.
Okay.
Because I come from that financial industry and been in this for 15 years with helping those families that were told no or couldn't see it.
Sure.
And that's exactly who you're targeting on these 10.
That's right.
So if you're doing that quarterly, you're talking about 40 families,
Mhm.
right? But when you take someone who is struggling for money, it's not a quick turnaround to get them to understand. So besides that, because if you're going out and promoting, now you're promoting to that class of person that is struggling, and that's who you're becoming in that community. But they're also the people that are the last to buy because of believability. So if you're positioning that way, where is the income coming from that's keeping the business alive if you're focused on just those 10 families? Because you're going to get maybe 1 of 10 that will move forward, because it's still going to be, there's still that fear and that mindset of that person that's struggling to make their bills.
It's fair.
And it takes them a while to understand that
Yeah,
IBC
that's
does
it. That's a
work.
good question. So Tammy, my response to that, it takes 33 families per advisor to launch. I'm giving up 55% of my EAP.
So build it to, you're using the money from the previous.
I am.
To move it.
We have to have that momentum initially. Now, I believe what that initial momentum will do was, I think it'll build. And what I'm going to, we haven't got to this part yet, but I'm going to ask for y'all to help me I need you to submit one e-app every week, right? You know, to infuse it. But the short answer to your question is I'm giving up 55% of my EAP to do it because I believe in it that strongly, and I think it's going to come back to us tenfold. And when you hear what Chris is going to share next, he's going to talk a lot about, you know, if you were to be an advisor in the insurance space, you could sell a whole life product and make a ton more money per case than what we do, right? Because 60% of the commission we give up. So when somebody comes to represent Wellington, they have to know that up front. And the one thing I ask them not to do, don't ever harm the client and don't embarrass us. So we're asking you, take a step back and let the client, infuse that cash in the client. So these people are automatically making less per case, but the give and take from that, Tammy, as you know, is we believe that you'll sell bigger cases and more of them if you put the client first and you care. Me and Chris talked about this earlier. I can't make you care, but I bet most people in the room have self-selected into that space, right? I think you're there. I think you're here because you do care. And I think, you know, if you had a plan and you could partner with people, I believe the people in this room would do that. I think you'd give back. And because of your state licensure, as an insurance advisor, you have the power and the financial leverage to do things that nobody else in the financial world can. Assets under management. I used to be an AUM guy. They can't do it. A stock jockey, he can't do it. He or she can't do it. I worked in a boiler room. You can't do that. You don't have that kind of leverage. You have leverage as an insurance person if you do it the right way. Okay, Doc.
I think one of the things I've seen Scott do is with clients, is middle-class clients. Yeah, you're right. A lot of them won't do it. A lot of them can't do it. But the biggest thing is the education is showing them, okay, you're doing money, you're spending money here, 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 and here, and it's like teaching them how to do a budget without teaching them how to do a budget. And so later on, they come after they get used to it. They the ones who take it serious, they literally change everything, and it doesn't cost much money. But as they learn how to pay off things, that gets more money, and then they don't go back into debt with more. They stay humble for a period of time, which allows them to have more money to go into their family, which gives them freedom. I think that's one of the biggest things Scott teaches, and I probably will teach in these conferences, is showing them hope that they can do it. No, it's not going to be easy. It was easy getting in debt. It's not easy getting out. But once you get out, don't be stupid. You won't say stupid. I would. Don't go back in it.
My question was around how it was going to be funded.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
I
yeah.
believe that.
Okay.
Because I will tell you that from now, I could literally call clients that I helped 10 years ago, and because they've seen me know what I can do now,
That's right.
they'll give me people that will now close, because now that believability is there.
Yep.
And I think that,
Right, so
100%.
I see how it can last long-term. I just wanted to know, how is it being funded?
Yeah, and Tammy, as a backup, I mentioned this earlier, we have a private investor that I've shared this with. The only person that knew this, other than Renee and my staff, no one else knew about this. And because I was real careful about it, you know, but they believed in it so strongly that they're ready to write a check. I'm just not sure that we need it yet, but yes. Matthew.
To what Kevin was saying is a question to you. Is that like what Thomas Young was sharing with us at the breakfast table, at the think tank, to where Savannah's been doing IVC for I don't know how many years, and one of the most powerful things that he ever did in this business was a young couple that had nothing, and all they wanted, their only goal, was to have a porch, a little covered porch off the front of their trade house. And they were broke, and he helped them with what you're saying, to then one step to the next step. And he said in a short order, they had $62,000 in a savings account that they never dreamed
Yep.
of. And they moved forward. Is
Yeah.
that?
And that's life changing. 62,000 may not sound like much, but to that couple, I guarantee you it's life
That's
changing.
$500,000 to them.
That's right, right?
Okay, so on our side, because I'm trying to nuts and bolts this too, you want us to run as fast as we can with quality 33 families.
That's right.
Because that's what's gonna give us,
That's right.
That's what's gonna give us our umbrella, is what we're looking for. Because in that, then that's another avenue for these people for financing. Is that what you're saying?
That's correct.
Okay, so my other thing is, and this is just again.
So they don't have to go to, if we do our, Brandy, if you do your job like I know you will, they don't have to go to a bank, hat in hand, and say, may I please have a loan? Well, I thought that was my equity I had in my house. I've got $100,000 in equity. May I please have a loan? The banker looks at you and says, well, Scott, why do you need the money? You say, well, I lost my job. They're like, oh, so, no loan, right? These people won't have to do that. They're going to have a ready-made private network to do that.
So could we have, like, if there was an advisor, if you were on this, one of these advisors for these cities that you're wanting to go into, after one of those, could you do a meeting that keeps some of the continuing education going on with some of these people? Because then they could even invite things in, and that could be basic economic principle.
That goes back to what Tammy was asking about. Yeah, I think that should be what happens, yes. The
And
follow
you can
through.
get referrals to them.
That's right.
So then that gets them some cash in their pocket, and at the same time gets us access. to
100%. We'll do one more comment or question, then I got to move on real quickly. And then I'm going to finish up on some IBC specific stuff, then bring Jim Carbone up. So one other comment? Yes, sir.
Scott, I have a comment. We're kind of free-forming here, but y'all will hear more about Circle Wealth, and that integrates so well with IBC. But the founder of Money Tracks, of Circle Wealth, is Don Blanton. And his passion is every bit, even more maybe, than what you're sharing. I mean, he cares about people. And the poor state of financial literacy in America for families you're describing, the younger generation. So he and his son have created a curriculum called PIM Life. You'll see PIM. It's the Personal Economic Model, Lessons in Financial Efficiency. And it's a 15-module curriculum of basic personal financial literacy.
What you're talking about, Brandy, and what you asked about, Tammy, the follow-up?
And what we have the ability to do, as you'll learn more about Circle of Wealth, is gift that to every client. And they can take their kids through it and go through it. And it's personal financial literacy that's true.
Good. Good.